the leg press foot position to target different muscles, i.e. narrow feet to target the outer thighs more. You're starting to sound like a right bodybuilder now. Targeting different musculature. So first and foremost, when we're talking about leg press, an example, a higher foot position will generally lead to more glute specific involvement. So if you think about if you're sitting in a, oh, hang on, let me just close this down. When you're sitting in a leg press position, your feet up really, really, really high. If you were to look at it from the side, it's almost like doing a lunge, right? Where the knees out in front more and like the hips are further back and it's loading more the glutes, right? So the shin's fairly upright like that and the thigh goes like that. So the higher that, the further the knee and the ankles are away from the hips, the more glutes you're going to get involved. But where the plate comes down, your knee still needs to go into flexion, which means the quads are still going to work. So a higher foot leg press, which is generally what we say for most people to do, is going to involve both glutes and quads. So in total body leg development, it's going to make sense. For more quad specifically, to just put more isolation on the quads is generally going to have your feet lower on the plate and generally in a bit more of a narrower position. All right, it's going to target the quads a little bit more. Now, in terms of that foot placement and how low on the plate goes is going to depend on the person, how long their legs and their femurs are, and then obviously the type of leg press they have. So you might have to play around with that foot position a little bit more. But generally what we'll do is, you know, kind of in the later phases for people, we'll start doing things like low, narrow leg presses or high and wide leg presses and like that to kind of have a little bit more focus on that. Earlier on, it's just kind of like do the one that's going to give you the most bang for your buck, which is generally going to be that high and wide leg press because it's going to get all of the lower body kind of involved a little bit more. We recorded a new leg press on the weekend where we're focusing on like hip stability. So it's actually a hip stability leg press where you put your feet out sort of wider on the plate and you really focus on that twisting the quads out and kind of bringing leg press down where your feet are kind of and your legs are more on that kind of angle where they're pointed to the out a bit further to really kind of load the hip a little bit more and help with that hip range and that hip kind of mobility in that point and stability that we want to work on, and kind of using that particular leg press as a way to kind of help with your squats a little bit more as well, because as we all know that hip stability is a big factor as to why a lot of people can't squat properly. They get a lot of knee movement, they can't get to depth. So it's just building up that hip stability. So yeah, I think I think that's kind of where it is. Your quads are going to work regardless. I think you can emphasize the VMO part of your quads by doing them a little bit shorter and narrower. I think your VMA, the outer part of your quads, is going to be worked with the higher and wide because that's the particular angle that you're working on, and that's going to get your glutes involved a little bit more. So yeah, to answer your question, yeah, you can emphasize on that, but generally it's only going to be two positions: high and wide, lower and narrow.